Is this the start of the bear market? I don't think so. Let's get into the charts. Welcome back to Max Trades Crypto. Today we're going to be going over just our 4-hour and 1-hour main scenarios at the moment. So looking at our 4-hour scenario on the chart, we can see we are still in this expanding flat structure, right? Where we have a 3-wave move in wave A, a 3-wave move in wave B that takes out the high of A, followed by a 5-wave move down in wave C. One, or you can see multiple ones, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? This is exactly what we are looking for currently on the 4-hourly time frame, right? If we go into now our wave C, where we are currently in, we are currently in an area where we have a double 1, 2, followed by this big wave 3, followed by 4, 5, 4, and a wave 5, right? These 4 5s are getting quite extended now, right? These are taking way too much time compared to the wave 1s and 2s. So it is kind of the last little bit of hope here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is kind of what we are looking for on the chart at the moment. We can see here, if we plot it, we are looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5 to this target area in white and red, from 102,403 to 98,265. Now, we are looking at the moment for a retracement possibly to the 0.618, sitting at 111,000 to 111,800. Around that area for us to then touch and reject, coming down in that 3, 4, and wave 5, right? So that is what we are currently looking at on the chart as our main scenario. The other scenario, right? And before we get into this other scenario, I would like to say do subscribe down below and join the Discord so that you can get updates every single day. Then, if we then look at our second scenario on the chart, still a long-term bullish scenario, we are looking at another WXY, right? Where we have a W down in 3 waves, an X up in 3 waves, and now we are looking for an A, B, and a C. Also in this A, B, and C structure, we are looking for a move to the downside in 5 waves. So if you look at the two scenarios at the moment, we are seeing that there are 2 structures that predict another 5-wave move down, right? That is what we are looking at. We are looking at possibly one more low, taking out this wick here at 103,500. And what is happening on all the other charts, on all the other USD pairs of Bitcoin, we have a massive wick that comes down past this wick over here. I'm at the moment using the Coinbase chart just because this wick didn't cross so far deep and have heavy market manipulation. So we have wicks all the way down to around $101,000, yet price has not taken those wicks out. So it would be very, very nice to have a move up and then down, touching and taking out all these wicks on all the different exchanges. Just confirms what we are actually looking at here. Then if we look at the scenario, we are still then looking for moves towards the upside. This bull market, as I said in the little intro, is not yet done, right? I don't believe that this is now a double 1, 2 where we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 and then just bear market forever. I don't believe that is the scenario right now, right? This looks very, very structured as a larger degree wave 4, right? Instead of a massive just move where we have a 1, 2 and then down further, right? The larger degree wave 4 comes from this massive wave 3 where we are in the daily time frame, where it comes all the way down from this 48 around $1,000 level, right? So 3, 4 and then one more up in the wave 5. That is what we are currently possibly dealing with. But people are getting quite bearish, which is quite a nice sign. Often in these long or prolonged areas of sideways action, we have this bearish sentiment that comes in, right? At the moment, we are looking at an area where we are in a range. There was a small range over here, and we could fall back into that range, just creating a bunch of range trading in this area here. And then followed by this, we can get a move all the way to that upside again. That would be quite a shock to people, as people are now expecting the bear market to begin and lower prices to form, right? So that is where we are sitting at right now on our two main scenarios. Then let's break down the hourly small or smaller term time frame main scenarios, where we have a possible WXY in this wave 4, right? Where a W towards the upside in, well, let's actually zoom in a bit more here. A W towards the upside in 3 waves, A, B, and wave C. Followed by that, we have an X in an expanding flat. And then now we are looking for a possible A B, and a wave C, finishing the wave Y. Doesn't need to take the high of this wave X, but finishing the wave Y somewhere around this area here, and followed by that the last degree wave 5. Right? Just be very, very careful that if we do take this high, we are then coming very, very close to the invalidation of the larger wave 4, that is the 0.618, right? So if I do show you that and just show you what I'm talking about, let's remove all these drawings. We are looking at this 112, but this wave 4 is now coming quite close to the 0.618, sitting at that $115,000 level, right? So we can't have that 0.618 touched, or it invalidates our wave 4. But if we get a wave Y that doesn't take the high of wave X in that scenario, we are then looking for another W, X, and a wave Y in finishing our wave 4 here, and followed by that down, right? That is the possibility now, and these multi 1-2s towards the downside would indeed shift over, right? Shift over, everything would shift. At the moment, I keep it like this just in case we have a 1-2 towards the downside, but on the move up at the moment, we are still looking at something like a WXY, wrong one, a WXY here. So that could be the move ending in a B, and a wave C, and then we see downward price action. And if we just go over to the 15-minute, I've been looking at this move for the morning. This does indeed look like double 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, but there are quite a few of them. For one, that would be like 6 or 7 1-2s, and then we have the big spike up here. Yet this spike was nowhere close to what we expected for this amount of 1-2s, right? We then didn't have a massive move up and it keep going, and then we had the 4-5, 4-5s. We had a stop here and quite a extensive retracement, right, to almost touching this area here of this 1-2. This does not look like now multi 1-2s with a 3, 4, and a wave 5. This looks very, very much more corrective, possibly something like W's, X's, and Y's, or ABC's up, right? That is what we look for in corrective structures. So, I mean, this gap has already been filled out completely. Now we are looking for a little bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here instead of whatever this corrective structure was, into a move of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then just up and up and up and up, right? So be careful when trading this range here, as this does look corrective at the moment. But let's now look as our last one at just trend lines on the chart. I will do trend lines back to our normal chart on the Binance chart that we normally do. You can see here the wicks are heavily manipulated. But on a Trend lines at the moment on the 4-hourly time frame, we still have these two trend lines coming up here. This trend line was touched once, twice, and now we are rejecting off that trend line currently. But I would not be surprised if we break through this here and come down, touch this trend line to the bottom, this trend line here as well, right? That is what I would possibly look for at the moment. And currently on the 1-hourly time frame, we are forming some form of triangle here. We can see that this breaking towards the upside would then leave in higher prices, and breaking towards the downside, possibly breaking this trend line here and then going for those lower degree trend lines, right? This could happen at any time. It doesn't mean that we need to go back and touch this area here, but it could happen like this, 1, 2, and then we crash through. This could also crash or break to the upside if this was a subsequent series of multi 1-2s where we had a 1, 2, oh, this low's almost taken, 1, 2, 1, 2. Very, very ugly if this is a structure of 1-2s, but at the moment we need to keep options open. But this trend line or this triangle likely to break down and then follow the moves we are looking for towards the downside. But guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been Max Trades Crypto. Do subscribe to the YouTube down below and join the Discord where you can get daily updates from me, right? All these charts and all these trend lines every single day. But it's been Max Trades Crypto. Cheers, guys.